You keep waiting for life to get easier. You keep thinking that if you push through just a little longer, if you suffer enough, if you sacrifice enough, if you just endure a little more pain, then somehow the universe will reward you. Like there's some magic switch waiting at the end of the tunnel. You think ease is a prize, that comfort is something you earn, that life will see your struggle and finally take it easy on you. But life doesn't care how tired you are. Life doesn't count how many tears you cried. Life isn't a parent waiting to pat you on the head and say, "Well done, now here's your reward." Life is. It exists in chaos, in randomness, in difficulty. It's been this way since the beginning of time. The lion doesn't wait for the savannah to grow softer grass. The eagle doesn't complain that the winds are too strong. The tree doesn't beg the storm to pass by gently. They adapt. They endure. They strengthen. They grow where they are. Or they die. And yet here you are, human, blessed with intelligence, language, culture, memory. And you think the world should make itself easier for you? You think you deserve smooth roads and clear skies because you're trying your best? You were not made for ease. You were made for resistance. Ease rots character. Comfort kills ambition. Softness suffocates strength. The Stoics knew this. Marcus Aurelius, Emperor of Rome, the most powerful man on earth at the time, wrote to himself every day, reminding that he would face betrayal, pain, death, anger, selfishness. He didn't ask, "How can I avoid these things?" He asked, "How can I meet them with dignity?" Seneca, born rich and powerful, spent years preparing himself for exile and death, not because he was pessimistic, but because he knew fortune is a wheel that spins for no one's pleasure. Better to be ready to lose everything with grace than to be destroyed by it in surprise. Epictetus, a slave, born into chains, understood it better than most. You may not control what happens to you, but you control how you meet it. That is the foundation. Not hoping for a lighter load, but building a stronger back. And yet today, we are trained differently. We're trained to believe that if something feels uncomfortable, it must be wrong. That if a task is hard, it's unjust. That struggle is a glitch in the system, not a feature. We are told, subtly and constantly, that a good life is an easy life. That happiness means freedom from difficulty, not freedom within difficulty. That the goal is to avoid pain, dodge struggle, sidestep hardship. That's a lie. And worse, it's a lie that weakens you every time you believe it. Ease is not the goal. Ease is the enemy. Ask any warrior, any athlete, any artist, any true master of any craft. Growth lives at the edge of pain. It lives in the zone of discomfort. It breathes in failure, frustration, fatigue. When you try to live only where it's easy, you suffocate your own potential. You trade greatness for safety. You trade depth for shallow pleasure. You trade a life of meaning for a life of avoiding discomfort. And what do you get in return? Boredom, resentment, a slow, creeping bitterness that eats you from the inside out. Because deep down, you were made for more than comfort. History remembers those who suffered, endured, and rose, not those who lived easily. Think about it. We remember Viktor Frankl, not because he had a smooth life, but because he found meaning inside a concentration camp. We remember Nelson Mandela, not because life was kind to him, but because he spent 27 years in prison and emerged stronger, wiser, more forgiving. We remember Helen Keller, not because the world was fair, but because she fought through darkness and silence to find her voice. Their greatness wasn't despite their suffering. It was because of it. You cannot separate their pain from their strength, their hardship from their wisdom, their suffering from their soul. So why do you think you will be different? Why do you think greatness can come without a price? Without the crucible of difficulty? Without the relentless sharpening that only hardship brings? You say you want strength. You say you want peace. You say you want to be unshakable. But are you willing to pay the price? Most people aren't. Most people will do anything to avoid discomfort. They will lie to themselves. They will hide behind distractions. They will numb themselves with pleasures and addictions and noise. They will blame others for their pain. Blame the government. Blame their parents. Blame society. Blame fate. blame God, anyone but themselves. Because if they admit the truth, that life is hard, and it's their responsibility to meet it, then they have no excuses left. They would have to grow. They would have to change. They would have to suffer on purpose. And suffering on purpose? That's terrifying. But it's also the only path to anything real. Let me tell you something the world won't. You are not supposed to feel good all the time. You are not supposed to be happy 24/7. You are not supposed to live without fear, pain, doubt, or difficulty. These emotions aren't signs that something is wrong. They are signs that you are alive, fully alive. Pain is information. Fear is a signal. Doubt is a challenge. Difficulty is an invitation to rise, to test yourself, to become more than you were yesterday. Stop resisting it. Stop whining about it. Stop acting like you're a victim of life. You are not a victim. You are a warrior in training. Every day is a battle for your own soul, and you either get stronger or you get weaker. There is no standing still. Imagine you could live a life completely free of struggle. No pain, no fear, no hardship. Everything easy, everything comfortable. Sounds nice, right? But how long would you last before you went insane? Before you lost your sense of purpose? Before life became an endless blur of meaningless days? Ease breeds emptiness. Struggle breeds depth. You were not made for comfort. You were made for challenge. You were not made to float. You were made to climb. You were not made to escape the fire. You were made to walk through it and come out forged. Look around you, at the world today. More technology, more convenience, more entertainment, more comfort than ever before, and yet more depression, more anxiety, more loneliness, more despair. Why? Because comfort cannot fill the hole inside you that demands meaning. And meaning only comes from struggle, from sacrifice, from growth, from facing your fears and choosing to rise anyway. You want peace? Stop waiting for life to get easier. You want strength? Stop wishing for lighter burdens. You want happiness? Stop chasing pleasure and start chasing growth. The road will always be uphill. The journey will always be hard. Good. It means you're on the right path. If you're tired of living soft, if you're tired of shrinking from your own potential, if you're tired of running from the hard truth that life demands strength, then stay. Subscribe, not just to the channel. Subscribe to the mission. Subscribe to becoming the strongest, wisest, calmest version of yourself. Subscribe to the battle. Subscribe to the fire. Subscribe to the road that never gets easier, but makes you unstoppable. The world doesn't get softer. You get harder. Life doesn't become fairer. You become wiser. The storms don't stop coming. You become the storm. Let's go. You are made for storms. You are made for hardship. You are made to endure things most people would crumble under. But only if you stop pretending life is supposed to be easy. Only if you stop asking for a lighter path and start building stronger legs to walk it. The reality is harsh, but it's also freeing. Because once you understand that the hardship is not personal, that pain is not picking on you, that suffering is not punishment, you are free. You are free to stop wasting your energy resisting life. You are free to stop blaming. You are free to stop waiting. You are free to start living. Most people live and die inside a prison of their own expectations. They expect comfort. They expect ease. They expect fairness. And when life doesn't meet their expectations, they collapse. They give up. They retreat into resentment. But what if you expected the opposite? What if you woke up every day expecting pain, expecting hardship? Not because you're pessimistic, but because you're prepared. When you expect the storm, it doesn't scare you. When you expect betrayal, you don't lose your mind when it happens. When you expect obstacles, you meet them like no old friend. That's amor fati. That's loving your fate. Not tolerating it, not enduring it, loving it. Loving the struggle, loving the fire, loving the wait, because it's making you into who you were meant to be. There is no strength without struggle. There is no wisdom without mistakes. There is no real peace without surviving real chaos. If you have been betrayed, good. If you have failed, good. If you have suffered loss, good. Good, because now you have the opportunity to grow beyond who you were. Pain is a doorway, not a dead end. Think about your heroes, the ones you admire, the ones who lived lives of impact, courage, wisdom. They were all broken at some point, crushed, brought low, humiliated, beaten down by life. The difference is, they refuse to stay down. They use the pain. They let it chisel away the weak parts. They let it burn away the illusions. They let it forge them into steel. Your pain is not an excuse to quit. It's a reason to rise. Look at history. The greatest leaders didn't emerge from comfort. They emerged from crisis. Abraham Lincoln battled depression so deep it almost killed him, and still led a nation through its darkest hour. Winston Churchill faced failure after failure before ever becoming prime minister, and still stood defiant against tyranny. Malcolm X spent years in prison before finding his voice, and still changed history. Their suffering didn't break them. It revealed them. And the same opportunity is waiting for you. But only if you stop running. Only if you stop believing that life owes you anything. Only if you embrace the fundamental truth. It doesn't get easier. You get stronger. The gym doesn't get easier. The barbell doesn't get lighter. Your body gets stronger. The climb doesn't get less steep. Your legs get tougher. The chaos of life doesn't calm down. Your mind sharpens. It's all on you. And that's not bad news. That's the best news you could ever hear. Because it means you're not at the mercy of the world. You're not a leaf blown by the winds of fate. You are the tree that bends but does not break. You are the mountain that stands unmoved. The storms will come. The betrayals will come. The failures will come. The pain will come. So what? Are you going to fold every time life punches you? Are you going to cry that it's unfair every time you stumble? Are you going to let the hard days steal your fire? Or are you going to stand up, smile through the blood and sweat, laugh through the tears, move forward, even if it's just an inch at a time? That's real strength. Not being untouched by hardship, but being undefeated by it. If you are alive, you will suffer. You will lose people you love. You will have your heart broken. You will face days when getting out of bed feels like lifting a mountain. But these moments are not curses. They are invitations to become someone rare, someone powerful, someone resilient beyond reason. Most people live soft, shallow lives. They never dig deep. They never find out what they're truly capable of. But you have a choice. You can live differently. Every hard thing you are going through right now, every obstacle, every setback, every heartbreak, is a call to arms, a call to rise, a call to toughen your mind, your body, your soul, not to pretend the pain isn't real, but to refuse to let it define you. You are not your suffering. You are not your failures. You are not your fears. You are the one who keeps showing up anyway. You are the one who grows stronger in the fire. You are the one who becomes more, not less, through hardship. And if you can do that, if you can stop waiting for life to get easier, if you can stop complaining, if you can meet every hard day with strength, then there is nothing that can stop you. Nothing. Not betrayal, not failure, not loss, not fear. Because the world can throw everything at you. But if you've built yourself into someone who doesn't flinch, someone who doesn't quit, someone who doesn't need easy, then the world loses its power over you. You become free, truly free. Free to pursue what matters. Free to love deeply without fear. Free to fight for what's right. Free to walk your path without apology. This is the freedom that only the strong know. Not the freedom of no problems, but the freedom of no fear of problems. Not the freedom of a smooth life, but the freedom of a resilient soul. And that freedom is yours. If you're willing to pay the price, if you're willing to suffer with purpose, if you're willing to rise again and again and again. Are you? Because if you are, if you're tired of pretending, tired of running, tired of hoping for a soft life, then subscribe. Not just to this channel. Subscribe to the hard path, the real path, the warrior's path. Subscribe to the idea that strength, not comfort, is the goal. That growth, not ease, is the reward. Subscribe to becoming the kind of person the world cannot break. If you accept this, everything changes. Not because life gets softer, but because you get harder. Not because the obstacles disappear, but because you become bigger than your obstacles. You will still fall. You will still fail. You will still hurt. But it won't break you anymore. It won't steal your purpose. It won't make you question your path every time the wind shifts. Instead, you'll stand rooted, firm, unshakable. Not because you control the world, but because you finally control yourself. And that's everything. When you stop needing the world to treat you a certain way, you become dangerous in the best possible sense. You become the kind of person who walks into the fire willingly because you know there's no other way to be forged. You stop wishing for a lighter load. You start wishing for a stronger back. You stop waiting for things to calm down. You learn how to be calm inside the storm. You stop hoping for an easier life. You focus on becoming a person who can handle anything. Because let's be honest, you already know life won't hand you peace. It won't hand you success. It won't hand you happiness. It won't hand you strength. Everything you want must be taken, forged, built, earned, and not earned once. Earned every single day. Every time you choose to rise when it would be easier to fall. Every time you choose to fight when it would be easier to surrender. Every time you choose growth over comfort, discipline over distraction, courage over fear. That's where it happens. That's where real life begins. Not in the victories, but in the small, unseen moments when you refuse to back down. Understand this. The world will not slow down for you. It will not bend itself to your convenience. It will not wait for you to be ready. It will move on, with or without you. You can either adapt, evolve, harden, or you can be left behind. It's harsh. It's brutal. It's reality. But there's beauty in it too. Because it means you are free. Free to step up. Free to mold yourself. Free to choose the hard path and all the greatness that comes with it. There's a reason why almost nobody chooses this path. Because it hurts. Because it strips away your illusions. Because it forces you to see who you really are. Without the excuses. Without the distractions. Without the comforting lies. It demands everything from you. And in return, it gives you something no one else can give you. Real strength, real confidence, real freedom. The kind that doesn't vanish when life gets tough. The kind that doesn't depend on circumstances. The kind that doesn't crumble under pressure. So you have a decision to make. Right here. Right now. You can keep waiting. Keep wishing. Keep hoping for a life that gets easier. Or you can stop. You can face the truth. You can embrace the fact that life will stay hard, and that's exactly how you build a life worth living. Look at the life you want. The strength, the impact, the respect, the peace. Every single thing you want is on the other side of hardship. There is no shortcut. There is no easy road. There is only the climb. And every day you refuse the climb, you fall a little deeper into a life of regret. But every day you choose to take one step forward, one fight, one battle, no matter how small, you move closer to becoming the person you were born to be. Nobody will do it for you. Nobody will save you. Nobody will make you strong. Nobody will hand you peace. It's on you. It always has been. And that's terrifying. Until you realize it's also empowering. Because if it's on you, then no one can take it away from you either. Your strength belongs to you. Your discipline belongs to you. Your peace belongs to you. Built by your own hands, forged by your own choices, owned by your own soul. So here's the real question. What are you going to do now? Not tomorrow, not next week. Now. Are you going to keep chasing ease and wondering why you're empty? Or are you going to embrace the fire, embrace the struggle, and find out what you're truly capable of? Because the world is full of people who chose comfort, and they're miserable, they're bitter, they're lost. They wonder where the time went, where their potential went, where their life went. Don't become one of them. Choose the harder path now. Pay the price now. Live with strength later. This is your call, no one else's. You can run, you can hide, you can pretend, you can delay, but eventually you'll face the same choice. Growth or comfort, strength or ease, meaning or numbness. Choose well. Choose now, because one day it will be too late to choose it all. If you're ready to stop chasing easy wins and start building unbreakable strength, stay. Subscribe. Not for feel-good speeches, not for empty motivation, for reality, for hard truths. for the kind of content that reminds you, life will never be easy, but you were never meant to be fragile. You were meant to be forged in the fire, and the fire is waiting.